Two colors could have just revealed something much bigger about Apple's first foldable iPhone. A new leak suggests the iPhone Ultrafold could launch in silver and a deep navy or dark blue finish. And while that might sound like a small detail, it could tell us a lot about how Apple wants to position this device. Because Apple isn't simply entering the foldable market, it appears to be creating an entirely new premium tier, and if the latest reports are even partly accurate, this could be one of the most expensive iPhones Apple has ever sold. But here's where things get interesting. The colors may actually be one of the strongest clues we have about Apple's strategy. Recent leaked accessories reportedly show camera protectors in silver and a very dark blue finish. These are not Apple promotional images, and they do not officially confirm the final colors. But when you combine this new leak with earlier reports about a very limited color selection, the picture starts becoming much more interesting. Apple may be deliberately keeping the iPhone Ultrafold simple, and that makes sense. This is expected to be Apple's first foldable iPhone. The company has never launched an iPhone like this before, so instead of trying to compete with every colorful smartphone on the market, Apple could be going after something very different. Luxury. The silver version would fit perfectly into that strategy. It is clean, understated, and instantly recognizable as a premium device. It also makes sense for a product that could cost well over $2,000. Then there is the dark blue. This is arguably the more interesting option. The leaked finish has been described as deep navy, dark blue or indigo depending on the report. It appears to be much darker than the bright colors Apple normally uses on its standard iPhones, and that could give the Ultrafold its own identity. But most buyers are not going to spend $2,000 just because of a color. The real question is what you're getting underneath that finish. And this is where the iPhone Ultrafold could become very different from a normal iPhone. The rumored design is a book-style foldable. When closed, it would function like a conventional smartphone. But when opened, the internal display could transform the device into something much closer to a small tablet. That changes the entire purpose of the iPhone. You are no longer just buying a phone with a larger screen. You are potentially buying one device that can handle communication, productivity, gaming, video, multitasking, and media consumption in a completely different way. Think about reading a document while keeping another application open beside it. Imagine editing photos on a much larger display without carrying an iPad, or watching a movie on a screen that expands when you need it, then folds back down when you leave the house. That is the real attraction of a foldable. But Apple has a major problem to solve. It has to make the foldable experience feel better than simply carrying an iPhone and an iPad. Otherwise, why pay the premium? This is why the rumored software experience could be just as important as the hardware. Some reports have suggested Apple is working toward an interface that can take advantage of the larger internal display, with layouts designed for multitasking, and if Apple gets this right, the Ultrafold could become much more than an oversized iPhone. It could become a productivity upgrade. For professionals, creators, and people who spend hours working from their phone, that could have real value. But there is another side to this story. The cameras. Recent leaks and accessory designs have pointed toward a rear camera system with two lenses rather than the larger multi-camera setup found on Apple's Pro Max models. And this could create one of the biggest buying decisions of the entire product, because the iPhone Ultrafold may not be designed to beat the Pro Max at everything. Instead, Apple could be asking buyers to choose between priorities. Do you want the best traditional iPhone camera experience, or do you want the foldable experience? That distinction matters. If the Ultrafold sacrifices some camera hardware to achieve a thinner and more practical folding design, professional photographers may still prefer the Pro Max. But for users who value the giant internal display, multitasking, and portability, the trade-off could be completely acceptable. And there's another important design clue. Leaked dummy units have suggested a very different physical layout from traditional iPhones, including changes around the cameras, displays, and buttons. The outer display is reportedly designed to feel much more like a normal smartphone rather than an extremely narrow foldable. That could be a major advantage, because one of the biggest problems with older foldables was the awkward outer screen. You could use it, but it often felt like a compromise. Apple appears to be targeting something more natural, and that could be one of the reasons the Ultrafold is getting so much attention, but that's not the biggest challenge. The biggest challenge is durability. A foldable phone has something a normal iPhone does not have: a hinge. And that hinge has to survive years of opening and closing while keeping the display smooth, stable, and reliable. Reports earlier this year suggested Apple had been dealing with production and engineering challenges around the foldable's hinge and manufacturing process. That is important because Apple cannot afford to launch a 2000-plus smartphone that feels like an experiment. The first generation product has to feel premium. It has to feel finished, and it has to convince buyers that the hinge will still work years later. This is also why the limited color strategy suddenly makes more sense. Fewer colors mean fewer variations to manufacture, stock, and distribute. And if production is already complicated, Apple has a strong reason to keep the first generation simple. 2. Colors could therefore be less about fashion and more about manufacturing discipline. Now let's talk about the biggest question, the price. This is where things get serious. Current analyst estimates place the foldable iPhone somewhere around $2,000 to $2,500, with some reports suggesting even higher. Configurations could approach $3,000. That would put it far above a normal iPhone, and it would also place it directly against the most expensive foldable smartphones. Samsung's Galaxy Z Fold 8 currently starts at $1,899,999 in the United States. So if Apple's foldable starts above $2,000, Apple will not have the advantage of being the cheapest option. It will need to win on the overall experience, and that means the ecosystem becomes extremely important. For someone already deep inside Apple's ecosystem, the value calculation is different. Your AirPods already work with the iPhone. Your Apple Watch is part of the experience. Your Mac can work with the phone. Your iCloud data follows you. Your photos, messages, and other services are already connected. That ecosystem advantage could make the Ultrafold feel more valuable than its specifications suggest. But there is a catch. If you are already happy with an iPhone Pro Max, this may not be an obvious upgrade. You could spend dramatically more money for a device that gives you a larger screen, while potentially making compromises in camera hardware, weight, durability, or thickness. That is why I would not recommend every current iPhone owner upgrade to the Ultrafold. For most people, this is probably not going to be the best value iPhone, but that does not mean it will be a bad product. In fact, it could be the opposite. The Ultrafold could become Apple's most important new form factor in years. The people who should pay attention are the ones who already want a foldable. If you've been waiting for Apple to enter this category, this is the device that could finally make sense, especially if you already carry a phone and tablet and want to combine those experiences. For creators, professionals, and heavy multitaskers, the large internal display could provide real productivity benefits. For gamers, it could offer a much bigger canvas without carrying a tablet, and for people who simply want the most unusual and premium iPhone available, the Ultrafold will probably be impossible to ignore. But there is one group that should probably wait: early adopters who hate compromises. Because first-generation products always carry risk. Apple may solve the major engineering problems before launch, but until people actually use the device for months, we won't know how the hinge holds up, how visible the crease becomes, how good the cameras are, how comfortable it is to carry, and how much battery life the large display consumes. Those are the questions that matter, not whether the phone looks amazing in a leaked image. And this is where the silver and dark blue leak becomes interesting again. Apple appears to be treating this product differently. The restrained colors, the premium positioning, the expected price, the completely new form factor, everything points toward a device designed to feel exclusive rather than mainstream, and that may be exactly what Apple wants. The company does not need everyone to buy an Ultrafold. It only needs enough buyers to believe that this is the ultimate iPhone. So, should you buy it? If you're looking for the best value, probably not. If you already own a recent Pro Max and don't need a foldable display, I would wait. If camera performance is your #1 priority, the traditional Pro line may still make more sense. But if you have been waiting for Apple's answer to the foldable market, the Ultrafold could be the device worth watching. The latest silver and deep blue leak doesn't prove that Apple has finalized its colors, but it does fit a pattern that has been appearing in the leaks for months. Apple seems to be going for a very controlled, premium identity, and if the final hardware matches the rumors, this won't simply be another iPhone. It could be Apple's attempt to redefine what an iPhone is. My recommendation right now is simple. Don't buy based on the leaks yet. Wait for Apple's official announcement and, more importantly, wait for real-world reviews. If Apple delivers a reliable hinge, strong battery life, useful software for the large display and cameras that are good enough for most users, the Ultrafold could justify its premium price for the right buyer. But if Apple asks you to pay more than $2,000 while making too many compromises, the Galaxy Z Fold line or a traditional iPhone Pro Max could offer better overall value. So for now, this is a wait, not a skip. Because Apple's first foldable iPhone could end up being one of the biggest changes to the iPhone lineup in years, and if that silver and deep navy blue leak really does represent the final design, we may already be getting our first glimpse of the identity Apple wants this new Ultra generation to have.